Hey, this is Ruth Hartunian-Ellenba, otherwise known as Ravngs and Cravings. I am coming to you today from my dining room table in Willimantic, Connecticut, the week before the Chocolate Festival, which will be past by the time this airs. Happy to have you here with me. I want to thank the Elm Package Store for sponsoring this program. Thanks to WILI, and thank you guys for joining. You can find me on social media. Facebook is Ravngs and Cravings, and my Instagram handle is Crave Eat Love with little dashes underneath, but I think you can find me. So that's all the, housekeeping stuff. Today I'm here with Deborah Baylor, who is the sole owner of Monets Table in Tallinn, Connecticut. So welcome.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to have you here. So let's do the commercial part up front. Like, what's your address? How can people find you, and your phone number? Probably get your hours in there too.
Okay. Sure. So we're physically located at 167 Tallinn Stage Road in Tallinn, Connecticut. So our hours are, we are a limited restaurant open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for lunch, 11:30 to 2:30. And we have a wonderful brunch on Saturdays from 9 to 2. And then we host catering the off hours. Our phone number is 860-875-7244, and we do have a website. It's monetscatering.com, and my husband runs our Facebook page under Monets Table, and on Instagram too. So that's how you can get a hold of us.
And have you been at that location the whole time that you've been in business?
So for 27 years, the building has been there, and we have been at that location. There was a 4 or 5 year hiatus that someone leased the building, and we went across the street and opened Monets Table Marketplace. But we've been back in that location for 12 years now.
12. So a total of how many years in the business then?
So,
20...
the whole time we opened in 1997, so it'll be 28 years this May. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing to have survived in a hospitality business for that long.
Yeah.
That's commendable. Tell us, I'm sure that should garner some kind of award, right? You know where I'm going with this. Tell us about this recent award that you received from the Connecticut Restaurant Association.
So it's called the Crazy Awards. And we were nominated with other local restaurants in Tallinn County. I think there was maybe 4 or 5 of us all together, and they had a award night ceremony kind of similar to the Grammys or the Oscars down at Foxwoods, and we got picked for the best restaurant in Tallinn County for 2024. So that was quite a celebration, unexpected. We were honored. Not quite sure what we actually said when we got up there, but it was an amazing night and a great honor.
It was, I was there, and I think there were did they say 1,600? Was it 1,600 people who were in the room?
Yeah.
And they were serving a big, huge, how many course meal to that many people?
Yeah, 3 or 4 course meal with appetizers, cocktails. And it was people from all over Connecticut and all of the restaurant industry, and
Tell us about your menu. Since we're talking about food, right?
So our menu has been similar over the years. We actually still have some of the same things we open with, and my motto was always trying to use seasonal, local if we can. That's a little tough, but seasonal items, and our menu switches twice a year from spring and summer. I do a menu, and then it switches totally different for fall and winter. So that way I can incorporate all local nuts and berries and fresh vegetables. So every single season I change it. There's a lot of, some staples that stay on the menu year round. So yeah, that's fun. And I try to go back and pull a lot of the favorites over the years that we've created. And they come up again and again. And people will ask, are you going to put this back on the menu this season? And so I try to bring different things in. So that's where that comes from.
All right, well, I'm going to check on my camera, but you're going to talk about what are those staples, the seasonal staples that are if I go in there, I'm not going to cry because it's not on the menu. So what are those things that are your staples? And I'm going to just double check and make sure my tech's working.
Sure. So the staples that we put on for, let's say, the fall and winter, There's a roasted butternut squash, garlic, and rosemary lasagna that people always ask for. And in the fall and winter season, we try to bring like the pumpkins and the butternut squashes and the fall nuts. Winter food that people would have traditionally ate in New England over the years. So we have apples, we have root vegetables. And then we always try to bring, right now we have a delicious lamb stew. Or actually, it's a lamb stew, but we've turned it into a shepherd's pie. So then we put the potatoes on it and make it a shepherd's pie, traditional shepherd's pie that people love. That goes very well. Winter salads. There's a warm port winter salad that has poached pears and dried figs in it with walnuts and chev. So, yeah.
I think I've had that.
Yeah, and then you can add your own protein if you want. You can add your salmon or your grilled chicken or your tenderloin beef tips if you like. Or we have a good vegetarian following vegan vegetarian. So we always have tofu available, and we always have a couple vegan dishes that we always carry. So this season it's a bowl. So we're doing a winter bowl with brown rice, roasted sweet potatoes. We make our delicious black bean sweet corn tomato salsa. It gets organic toasted pumpkin seeds on it, and then fresh avocado. So that's kind of the winter bowl for vegans that we carry. Yeah.
Do you do soups?
Our soups are our specialty. So I make soups out of...
Where we left off was talking about soups, right?
Yes, they're talking about the menu.
The menu. Yes. Anything else you want to say about your menu as far as anything that you feel people should know?
I'm trying to think where we left off. So I think you were asking if we do anything for people with special cooking dietary needs. So we don't have a gluten-free kitchen, but we do try our best to have natural gluten-free items in the kitchen. And if someone would per se have like a nut allergy, we'll try to stop cooking what we're doing, wash our hands, cook everything in a separate spot for them. Brunch is a little difficult because we have nuts and all the pancakes and all the French toast, so we'll just basically say you have to have an omelet or something like that. You can't have anything on the grill. But we really do try for our customers.
So talk about what got you to the point where you decided to like go into this restaurant business. Like, what was the backstory as far as what got your experiences?
So I think it just started out cooking with my family. My family is a big Swiss family, and we love everything's based around cooking for holidays or birthdays or weddings or funerals or anything like that. So it was a love of cooking. My mother had a garden outside and always had fresh vegetables all year. I grew up on a farm, so there was always a dairy farm in Ellington that's still there.
Is it your family's farm or
yes.
no? It is? So what is it called? What's it called?
And now it's it's Oak Ridge.
Oh, okay.
And it's switched to Oak Ridge. It was Baylor Farms for years, and now it has switched over to Oak Ridge Farms because it's incorporated. So there are still family members involved, but it's, fourth generation, fifth generation now. Maybe I'm exaggerating.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. So that's still there, and they do the deliveries. I don't know if you see their trucks running around.
Oh, really?
Oak Ridge Farm, delivery. So
that's cool.
Modern day milkman. That's
very
what they
cool.
do.
Yeah.
But I'll go back to Monet's table. So the love of cooking, and then started working in restaurants when I was 18. And that's where I gathered a knowledge of servers and just loving the hospitality atmosphere. Worked for Larry Ross at Mansfield Depot, and I learned a lot from him and Zenny's.
He had a thing in his menu that had scallops that I loved.
Oh.
I don't know what he did to them, but it was...
Yeah.
They were heavenly.
And Larry Ross, we did take his Russian cream recipe, the dessert that
was
from Mansfield Depot.
Oh, that's so... I didn't know. That's a lovely nod to, restaurants past.
Yes.
I like that. Okay.
And I after college, I went out worked at Black Dog Bakery and Martha's Vineyard and the Black Dog Restaurant, and just working at those different places of how they treated the staff as a whole. We're a body that you all work together. It wasn't like there's a hierarchy between the kitchen and the servers. You work together, and that's the environment we have at Monet's table. Everyone's valuable, from the person who does the dishes to us who cook the food to the servers and the hosts. If you don't have all of them together, the place doesn't work. So,
do people kind of like, if there's a lack somewhere, they just jump in and help out? Like, are people versatile like that?
I think most of the staff at Monet's table can do every position there.
That's pretty amazing. That is amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So that's, we have a great staff and wonderful customers too that have just been with us from the beginning. We still have a couple that used to come in when it was Secret Garden Eatery, and they followed us, and they're still there. And some of our customers are in their 80s, and my aunt and uncle who come in every Saturday, and that's the house that they've renovated, that have the restaurant and come in for brunch, and they're 94, 95. They come in every Saturday.
Wow.
Now their children bring them in.
Do they make a reservation? Like, is that
they have a standing reservation?
Okay, all right.
On Saturday mornings at 9:00, we have at least probably 5 to 8 different regulars that have their table, and they come in at 9:00, and their tables are saved. The staff knows exactly what they drink, what they eat.
Oh, that's so. I mean, to me, that's very sweet. That they would have that standing appointment with somebody that they must love. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it every week, right?
Yes, and they're very supportive and loving of us too. So yes.
Well, and at the end of the day, food is a very relational thing.
It is.
It's what brings us together.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got to eat.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's very cool. That's very cool. So what are you doing in the kitchen? Are you cooking? Are you serving? Are you doing like jack of all trades, master?
So presently, I'd say since we've been back from 12 years, at one point we took the hiatus and just had the Monet's Table Marketplace and catering, and I delivered food to the co-op for like 10 years. So now we're strictly back at Monet's Table. Ooh,
Thank you.
Doing lunch and brunch and catering. So I have moved strictly to cooking. I do all the cooking for the catering. I mean, I manage everything too because I'm the sole owner. My husband is a silent partner who does all the social media, and he takes care of all the maintenance around the restaurant. And without that's a lot. That's a lot of work.
So
he has another job. So
really,
yes,
the dynamic duo here, right?
Yes. So I think back to what you asked me. Yes, I am the cook. I'm not a trained chef, so I say I'm a cook. So when people try to want to chit-chat with me, I can only chit-chat after hours when the restaurant's closed or on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay.
So when they come in, I'm always cooking. So it's hard to get a hold of me when the restaurant's actually open.
And are you a recipe person, or are you like fly by the seat of your pants person? What are you?
I'd say over the years, when you've developed cooking skills, you can maybe look at something new recipe to say, oh, how did they do that? And then you're like, okay, this is how I do it. So even cooking for soups or anything, I don't use a recipe, because if you're used to making a soup with the basic of the onions and the celery or whatever you need to put in the base and how to start it, you just don't, you just kind of cook it, and you get better at it, good at it, and you even look at a recipe like, oh, that's the way I'm going to do it. I have my own way of doing it.
Right. It's a suggestion.
Yes.
Like, oh, that's a great idea. I think I'll throw that in there.
Except with baking, I don't know if that always works so well.
So at the end of the day, when you've worked a long day, what's Deborah eating? What are you eating?
So if you ask my husband, a lot of times for dinner, we'll maybe eat a bigger meal, and we'll eat from the restaurant during the day. So maybe at night, a lot of times it's just scrambled eggs and vegetables with whatever really good cheeses we have to put in. We have local eggs from a farmer who drops them off from us every Friday. Ooh. So we have his eggs, or
fresh
I'll
eggs.
Just go have some soup. There's a really good sloppy Joe with
Deborah, you're going to talk about the vibe inside the restaurant and outside the restaurant. Like, what can people expect to see when they come?
Okay, so it's a 1756 farmhouse, and that is in Tolland, at 167 Tolland Stage Road. So it's a house that Samuel Chapman built for his son Elijah Chapman in 1756. And it's the same Chapmans that still own property in Ellington, used to own Johnny Appleseed, but now they own a bunch of apartments. The same family. So it's an old farmhouse with a central fireplace, beautiful wood floors in the building. 2 active fireplaces that we use nowadays. About maybe 6 years ago, my aunt and uncle replaced the clapboards on the outside of the building, uncovered the fireplaces.
Oh.
So it's beautiful. It's cozy. Wooden tables and wooden chairs. We have a beautiful perennial garden that I put in. So the name Monet's Table I got from a book called Monet's Table, The Love of Monet's Table. What am I talking about? Monet's Table.
Something with Monet's Table in it. We'll take
what
that.
What is wrong with me?
That works.
Okay,
that works.
The cookbook, I saw it years ago, and I put that in my little hope chest and said that would be a lovely name for a restaurant. So when I did open this restaurant, I used the name Monet's Table, and people will come in and say, "Oh, these perennial gardens are beautiful. They remind me of Monet's in Giverny." The gardens there, and I said, "Oh, he must have had a lot of weeds too."
Right.
So in the summer, you can eat out in the gardens. We have beautiful tables out there. We have a pond that my husband keeps up with a fountain that you can hear running.
Oh, lovely.
A couple years ago, we did let our chickens run around.
Ooh,
but
free
now
range.
they'll be back.
Free
They're
range.
back in their little house because they would jump up on the tables and eat people's pasta salad because the customers over the years would, kind of train them to do that. Like, here's some food. So now they're back in their little house. So that's what you'll get. You'll get beautiful perennials, flowers in the summer if you want to sit out.
We talked about your menu. Talked about the vibe. Let's talk about your catering services,
Sure.
gift certificates, and all those good things that bring Monet's Table to somebody's event or home.
So our catering, I've built that up over the years. Our biggest catering that we do is bridal showers and baby showers, and a lot of times it's on Saturdays and Sundays. People get the whole building to themselves, so you have to have at least 20 people, and you can fit up to 70. But you're basically in a home, so you can come in and you can use our flowers, or you can bring your own flowers, and you can make it kind of look the way you want. But we have our menus for catering for the showers. A lot of people do an afternoon tea. We'll do a brunch buffet. We do a luncheon buffet or a luncheon table service. So you can kind of design it how you want. When people pick the afternoon teas, we use special teacups that have been donated to us. This one woman donated 50 of her favorite teacups. Other people over the years have been giving me their collections. So we bring that out and we set the tables with it. We always use lace tablecloths on the tables. Usually sit in parties of like 10 or 12. So it's a very special, catering's very special because the servers will just bend over backwards to make sure everything's special. All your needs are catered to you. We love doing it too. It's very specialty. We a couple times a year we have small weddings at the restaurant. We can fit up to 70.
Oh, you can do a wedding on site.
So people get married in the garden, or if it's the winter, they get married in the restaurant. We've had all different kinds of themes. Last year we went out and catered at the Bristol Carousel Museum, and it was a vegan wedding.
Oh, that's
so
neat.
I do completely vegan menus too, and that was very interesting. So we love our weddings and out at people's homes because they're all very interesting. When people ask you to go out and cater, they like your food, they like our fresh made food, but we get to see their beautiful pieces of property they're having their weddings on, and they're all different. I think a couple of years ago, people rented a farm in Willimantic. No, it was actually Wellington. A farm, and then they brought us in as caterers. So there was goats running around and chickens and dogs, and we're catering kind of an upscale wedding. It was really fun. Yeah.
So that's quite a compliment to be invited into someone else's space, because I think it's a way of saying, we know that you're the best. We're choosing the best and come home with us.
Yes, and we always find it an honor. It's always very interesting what people choose to do. It has their theme and their ideas, and then they'll pull our food in to go along with their theme. So yeah, it's great. We really enjoy doing that. I don't do a lot of weddings, maybe like 3 or 4 those bigger weddings a year, maybe out in the fall, and it's always we work our best to just do what they want.
Right.
Yeah, it's an honor to us. We really enjoy it.
Yeah. So if someone wanted to do something like that, how would they go about making that happen? Like, how much lead time do you need for a date and for an event?
So weddings maybe are like, it just depends if the date's open. So if you want to get in with us, usually people are looking a year ahead of time or 6 months ahead of time.
Yeah.
Wow. They'll email me and then I'll say, please call the restaurant. I talk to everyone individually myself. Emails, I'll just kind of do the basic, but I want to talk to everybody. I want to go over all the details. I feel like when you talk to people, you can get a lot more accomplished and you can kind of get their ideas, where when you're kind of just emailing back and forth, it's not the same. So that's why I always want to talk to people. So if you want to book anything, you need to call the restaurant directly and book it with me.
Wait, are you saying like they have to talk to a human?
And even reservations.
I like
say call the
humans.
restaurant, book a reservation with me, or book a reservation, leave it on the answering machine, or talk to our host that's there during the day. Yes. Customer service, we enjoy that.
Gift certificates.
So we still handwrite our gift certificates, and we will mail them out to you.
Love that.
Or
I think it's great.
You can come in and pick one up during our hours that we're open.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is Ruth Hartunian Allenbaugh. I am here with Deborah Baylor, who's the owner of Monet's Table. She and her husband, who've had it for, you said
27 years. We'll be 28 this May.
Wow. Are you going to have a birthday party or?
We might, but we try to do them on the big ones. So we did it on the 25th every 5 years. So on our 30th, then we'll probably do a garden party, and we invite all our, our locals that come in, or our customers or regulars that come in every week. We give them a special invitation.
Nice.
And we try to bring back staff that has worked over the years and invite them to come, so we can just kind of mingle and reminisce.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I haven't been there in so many years. I need to come and visit sometime, and hopefully I will do that actually within this year.
That's wonderful.
2025.
If you like to come in the summer, come in the garden, and we can get you a great meal out in the garden. And
I remember just the table settings are beautiful. You set a lovely table. They're at least indoors.
Yes.
Sometimes, I guess, depends on the event.
Yeah, some people in the summer, if they want to have their bridal shower or birthday party outside, weather permitting, we can seat up to 50 in the garden, so they will do it outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it works really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me in your home.
Thank you for your patience. This is Ruth Hartunian Allenbaugh. I am signing off here. Ravings and Cravings on Good Company, WILI.